and turn the blur level all the way down. Going to change it to fractal and set this to levels to 5. And then we just go ahead and play with our settings here. What we should do is go to open up our particle source. That's why I always minimize things so I can just quickly get to them. And we're going to turn off temporarily this one. Just our bigger clouds. Minimize that again just so we can see the little clouds. And this way we can tweak the, set this source here to explicit so we get exactly whatever we do here. This is what we're gonna see when we go to render it. So we want to set that to explicit just because it's a lot easier to work with for this specific thing anyways. And just go ahead and just tweak it until you get the clouds looking like the way you want them. You can add more levels. See, if we go with a low level, you can see they're too blurred. If we go with a higher level, it adds more like texture to the clouds. So, feel free to play with this if you want. Feel free to play with the settings of low and high. And of course the size until you get something that looks like it's going to work. Change the phase if you want. And also the colors. If you want a little tint from maybe the sunlight. But make sure they're different, somewhat different colors. So you can get, that look, the contrast in the clouds. I'll go with, I'm trying there. We'll just leave it like that, I guess. That's good for that one. Alright, so now we got to do the same thing for the other one. So we're going to go to the cloud 2. Click the none button for diffuse. And just like I said, do the same thing. We got to go back to our particle source here. We need to turn off the small ones, turn back on the big ones temporarily. And we'll change this to explicit right away. Turn the blur level down to 0. Change it to fractal. Set this to 5. Maybe 6 because they're bigger clouds. And go ahead and play with the settings of that, your size and stuff. So just set it to 1 here and then work our way up. Probably good there. Just give it some kind of just make it so you can, tell their clouds, they have that, like I said, the contrast and stuff, and, maybe try it on a blurry. No, it definitely looks better with the texture on there. Alright, so maybe we'll leave that like that. Try swapping the colors if you want. Seeing whatever looks good, you just gotta tweak those. Alright, so let's go back to particle and turn on both now so we can see everything together. And then quickly skim through. Then we can kind of see how everything's looking. Alright, so now that we got that all done, maybe we can change, you can go back and maybe change your size of the clouds now that you can actually see through them better. Change the size of them. If you feel that you need to, anyways. The more particles you choose in here, the slower it's going to go. So you got to keep that in mind. Maybe you want to add more or even less. Maybe more of the smaller clouds. Change the size of the smaller clouds if you want. 2.3. Spread them out a little bit. You know, so now this is where you just go back and tweak, and you know, you get a rough idea of how everything's going to look in your viewport, and then you can do a quick render at certain points just to, you know, get an idea how it's going to be. You know, that looks kind of cool. They look like clouds and stuff, so yeah, it's not bad at all. You know, just give different views. That's when they're big. Do an open view. You know, just skim through and just do renders here and there just to see how it's looking. You know, so you get an idea. I'm going to go back to this one and change my shape. Bring my scale down a little bit on there. Sometimes it's a pain about working with it when you have so many particles. But, you know, you got it showing and everything, but, you know, you kind of have to have them so you can see them all, so you can really see, you know, when you tweak them, how they're all going to look with each other. Alright, so I'll just leave that. I guess that's pretty good. We'll just leave that like that. Now, you got that all done. What you could do is just go and you can go tweak your colors if you feel like tweaking the colors. What you'll want to do now is get an idea of your motion and how everything's going to look now. So in your camera viewport, while you have that selected, go to animation, click make preview. Then if you're working with 1280 by 720, you'll want to keep this set to 50 to do your preview, and then go ahead and do as much animation as you want, render it out, you know, just to get a good idea. I'm just going to go with 200 frames. Set it custom range 0 to 200, and I'm going to set mine to 100 because I'm only working with half resolution anyway. So it's 490 by 270, and this is going to give you a really quick, it's just going to render your viewport so you can quickly find out if your motion's good. Don't worry about exactly how it's going to look, because don't forget this is not a render. So you're just basically looking to see what the flight path is looking like, the speed and everything. So just let it render, and it's going to play in media player. You know, and if you like the speed, then you know, that's fine. Just your speed, you can just leave it like that. If you want it faster, you have to change the camera animation. It could go a little bit faster. So if you want it faster, like I said, just go ahead and change the camera. Click on your camera and just tweak these keyframes to make them go faster. You know, if you want the camera to get to a certain point faster, just go ahead and just tweak that last keyframe. This way it'll make it there quicker. So I'll just set it to 400. This way it'll get there at that point at 400, so that means it's just going to go faster now. And that's probably where I'd want it. So I'm going to just turn this time config down to 400. And that should give me my speed, and right click on the view, and just keep doing this until you get your view, or until you get your speed just right. Just do another make preview and create, and I'll pause it while it does this. Alright, I like that speed better, for sure. Okay, I'm probably going to lift the camera up a little bit, but I'm going to wait and see, because I'm going to still rotate the camera and stuff, move the camera around, because now it's all a matter of animating your camera to get it to look right. So let me go to my move tool for my camera, and we'll set this up to maybe 2.5 on that, just to raise it up a little bit more. So you can put it wherever you want, wherever you think it looks good for your animation. So don't put it where I say to put it, because depending on the clouds and how big they are, you know, you're going to want it in a different spot. That looks fine. Alright, so now what I want to do is, I just want to give this some rotation. You can animate this camera however you want to do. If you're in the Max doing this kind of stuff, you're going to know how to animate a camera. But I'm going to just quickly do it one way, just to give